guys, Dandelion Song here. So I was looking at this episode of Simpsons, and I'll explain why I was looking at this episode in more depth in the first edition of it. But in short, this is the season 2, episode 3, which makes it a 2-3. And I did look at the 223, which is the Synagogue of Satan number, and I think that this episode has more code in it than that one. This one was published on October 25th, which is 10/25 or 10/7, 1990, and it just has a lot of different things in it. So I'm not sure, but let's just go ahead and take a look. Now here we are at the we're at a 7-Eleven moment, and over here there's a pi moment. You see, well, the whole thing. This is the complete time, so the whole thing is pi, because it's pi divided by 7, which is 22 divided by 7, which is an approximation of pi, derived by 7. That has to do with the tetragrammaton, has to do with the alphabet, because the alphabet, through the menorah code, and if you can watch my video about the menorah code, it'll explain more about this, but the alphabet is pi derived by 7 twice. And it's even written that way. Very close to that way in the Hebrew, and I learned that from the book Pi in the Alphabet by Marty Leeds. Well, so anyway, here we have a 7-11 ratio, and I do talk about, in a few videos, I talk about 7-11 in terms of the sign on the convenience stores being the Valley of Death. And here, at this moment of the video, they, I forget the name of this alien, but he's watching them eat, and he's about to make a comment about Homer's wife looking like a dish. So on the 9/11 moment, or the 11/9 moment, depending on if you think it's which inversion of the date it is, he says to the alien, "What are you looking at, bub?" And then he says, "Your wife is quite a dish" on the 11/11 moment. So he says dish right here on the 11/11. I did look at dish. Dish is a 4 and a 9. And then the SH is a 27. So it is kind of like a 4, it's like a 927, which is sort of a Jesuit number. It depends on, I don't know, it's just interesting that they put that on the 11/11 number, because I just was looking at the Umpqua shooting photographs, and they have two, sorry, I'm stammering, 2 ambulances side by side, and each of them has an 11/11 code on each of them. One of them is an 1174, which is the 4th of July, or their God number, and the other one is a 1192, which is a reference to 9/11. So I'm not saying that I know the whole answer, just that there's kind of a tie in here. And then I also, in this section, I want to show you the Saturn moment with Lisa here. Oh, sorry. Okay, so here she is looking at she's taken a moment to look at Saturn. She's been wondering what's going on. And then we have this crescent moon up here, and I've told you, let me see if I can make it bigger. I've told you that that is not the moon. And so she's taken a look at this, and that, that's not the moon. In the next second, it pans over so that you can really see that it's not the moon. You should make the connection that the moon can't be here. So right here, the aliens were showing the Simpsons the Pong game, and they were making fun of how old it was. And then from the 11, oh here, wait, you can't see. From the 11:45 second, basically until the 11:54 second, which are 2 different 9/11 gateways. There's do you see there's like a 9/11 on that side and a 9/11 on that side, and in between this whole 10 seconds, they talk about how they are superior to men, and we shouldn't make fun of their Pong game because they built the spaceship. And then at the end of the 10-second interval, the whole family agrees that humans are inferior. So I think that's an important timestamp as a gateway, and an important concept that's being shown here having to do with those numbers. Alright, well, I will try to pair this up with some pen and paper video that I did having to do with these numbers, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi, so this is Dandelion Song, and this is another episode of this Simpsons episode having to do with it's season 2, episode 3, and I will talk about in the intro why I picked this episode. And I didn't know it, but it turns out to have tons of code in it. So my method of picking the episode was right. Okay, so I just want to point out, I've talked about harvesting and cook and human and feast, harvest, and so on that topic of eating references, at the 11:11 mark, the alien talks about Marge as she's quite a dish. Now, in the center of human, the center core of the word human is an M, and that's a 13, which reduces to a 4. And over here we have a 13, which reduces to a 4. So I want to point that out. That is the, this would be, and the D is a 4, and the I is the ego. So the ego in the dome, which is a 4, reduces to a 4 because the ego doesn't bring anything of quantity value. All right, well then we also have the ish. We should always probably try to remember forever that the ish is 927, which adds to 36, which is the seed of life. So that's a 9, and this is a 9. And that's why the ego doesn't add anything here either, right? Because after you reduce it, it's gone. Doesn't change it. This is the birthday of the Jesuit order. And I can't remember the year. I think so. All right. Well, okay, so 13, this way, if you do a 13 and a 27, then you would have it would be like a 4 and a 9, and that would be the divergent way again. The 4 and the 9 is a 49, and that's a 7, 7, and we see that. I've talked about that in some of my videos. So just, if you haven't heard about that, and just watch some more videos. You probably watch a few videos and you get tired of me talking about it. Also, just can't be left out that at 11:14, there's Lisa looks out the window and sees Saturn. I think I've decoded this word before, but I can't remember. All right, so just real quick, the center core of it is the backwards of O, which reduces to a 6, and it's a 51. But if you take the SAT, that's the same as us because it's a 2020, and that's the U.S. and it's the name, it's the body of the people, and this symbolism was at play with the Philadelphia train wreck because it was on the coordinates of 40, and it has to do with the U.S. coming off the rails near the Delaware River of awareness, because this is the Lord right here, which is 17, which is Q. This is pi. Pi interrupts phi, and then this is the Lord of the Dome, and that's why in the pharaonic hieroglyphs, we see that they have these various domes in their name. Okay, so then, so if you look at it that way, if you put the 40 on this side, then on this side you have an urn which holds ash. So Saturn would be the ash of the people. And now, but if you take it with the center being the TU, which is the 6, over here you have a 20, and then over here you have the 32, which kind of goes back a little bit to this episode, which is the 2-3. This is the season 2, episode 3, and then there's another 2 over there for the synagogue of Satan kind of idea. here at the 11/9, which would be November 9th or 9/11, the people, the family of the Simpsons, realize their species inferiority, and they accept that. And this could be symbolism for what we are about to experience having to do with these dates in their various permutations.